Welcome to Philippines, the home of the world-renowned natural wonders and the home of skilled farmer that is good in agricultural production. An agricultural country despite the plan to make it an industrialized economy by year 2000. Most citizens still live in rural areas and support themselves through agriculture. The country's main agricultural crops are rice, corn, coconut, sugarcane, bananas, pineapple, coffee, mangoes, tobacco, and abaca. Agriculture is important because it is the Filipinos' main employment and everyone are engaged in it, even children. Most of Filipinos should be wealthy with the use of agriculture. Hence, it is still one of the social problems here in the Philippines. It is the source of our food supply. Arguably, the most important aspect of agriculture is that it is the source of the world's food supply. No matter where or what you are eating, the ingredients in your meals came from somewhere. All roads leads to agriculture. Pre-colonial times, land was commonly owned by the community known as barangay. This is a small unit of government consisting of 30 to 100 families administered by the chiefs. Everyone in the barangay, regardless of status, had access on the land and mutually shares resources and fruits of their labor. They believe and practice the concept of stewardship, where relationship between man and nature is important. Spanish era. The colonial government at this period introduced a pueblo agriculture, a system wherein native rural communities were organized into pueblo and each Christianized native family is given a 4 to 5 hectares of land to cultivate. The pueblo agriculture practiced no share, crop class, or landless class. The native families were merely landholders and not landowners. By law, the land assigned to them was the property of the Spanish king, where they paid their colonial tributes to the Spanish authorities in the form of agricultural products they produce. Through the laws of Indies, the Spanish crown awarded vast tracts of land to wit, a friar lands for religious orders, reparchamos for lands for granted to the Spanish militaries as a reward for their service, and encomienda a large tracts of land given to Spaniards to manage and have the right to receive tributes from the native dealing it. Natives within these areas became mere tailors, working for a share of crops, did not even any rights to the land. Abusive encomienderos collected more tributes that became the land rentals from the native living in the area. A compressed Ivandala system was practiced wherein tillers were made to commissary sell at very low price or surrender their agricultural harvest to Spanish authorities, where encomienderos can sell it for a profit. People of encomiendas were also required to render personal services on public or religious work and as a household help to the encomienderos. The revolutionary government confiscated the large landed estates, especially the friar lands, and declared this as a properties of the government, according to Malolos Constitution 1896, Article 17. American era. They realized that being landless was the main cause of social unrest and revolt at that time. The Americans sought to put an end to the miserable conditions of the tenant tillers and small farmers by passing several land policies to widen the base of small land holdings and distribute land ownership among the greater number of Filipino tenants and farmers. Philippine Bill of 1902. This law provided regulations on disposal of public lands wherein a private individual can own 16 hectares of land while the corporate land holdings can avail 1,024 hectares. This also gave the rights to the Americans to own agricultural lands. Some 400,000 native farmers were without titles at the start of the American era. This situation was aggravated by the absence of records of issued titles and accurate land surveys. To remedy this situation, the tolling system was then introduced to replace the registration system implemented by the Spaniards. Homestead Program of 1903. This program allowed an enterprising tenant to acquire a farm at least 16 hectares to cultivate. However, the program was not implemented nationwide and it was introduced only in some parts of Mindanao and Northern Luzon where there were available public, alienable, and disposable lands. Japanese era. During this occupation, peasants and workers organized the Hukbalahap or Hukbong Bayan laban sa mga Hapon. On March 29, 1942, as an anti-Japanese group, they took over vast tracts of lands and gave the land and harvest to the people. For them, the war was a golden opportunity for people's initiative to push pro-poor programs. Landlords were overpowered by the peasants, but unfortunately, at the end of the war, through the help of military, police, and civilian guards, landlords were able to retrieve their hands from Hukbalahap. The Filipino farmer is a dying breed.
Ang average age ng farmer sa Philippines, 57 years old. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, in 10 years, wala na tayong kakainin. Siguro, 15 years.
We introduce you to a businessman who at the age of 31 was a certified billionaire.
33-year-old Joseph Calata is known as one of the country's youngest self-made billionaires. He's the CEO of Calata Corporation, a recognized agriculture products distributor.
The Philippines is very rich in land, that it would be our strength. We should focus on helping these Filipinos.
Tulad ngayon, tingin ko dito, sa lugar na to, ang farmer, konting-konti na lang eh.
Sa bukid lang ho ako nagpipirming magtrabaho. Baka mga 5 taon pa yan, wala nang sasakayin dito. Puro mga makapabrika na dyan, umalis na.
Hirap ka, pawis, dugo.
Talagang sa kabataan niya yun. Madalang naglalabas sa bukid, mga takot sa araw, mga mainitan. Eh, mga kabataan niya yun, mga magpapakinis ng ng mga mukha, ba't nilalabas siya?
And yung mga bata, mga anak nila, wala naman sa farming eh. Sa iba nagtatrabaho eh. So wala nang mag-continue nun.
If we are not encouraging and inspiring young people to go into farming, I think that's going to be a big problem in the future.
For example, ngayon, kung walang foundation, walang gusto mag-initiate, ano ang future ng farming? Kung mag-iisip tayo, parang ano ba ang future ng farming? Wala eh. Walang mag-i-initiate, walang magmo-modernize, wala. Ang future ng farming, mamamatay ang magsasaka, walang bata magtutuloy. Yun ang future. Sure yun, in 30 years, yun na yun.
Halos wala na rin sa mga anak ng mga magsasaka ang gustong sumunod sa mga yapak nila.
Itinuturing ang Pilipinas bilang isang bansang sagana sa agrikultura.
Dahil naganap pa rin ang gutom sa bansa. Natatakot ang Department of Agrarian Reform sa posibleng food shortage kung magpatuloy ito.
No way to earn a living to feed.
Bitin kapag walang-wala na sa budget.
The province is expecting to lose at least half its crops.
The problem is obvious. No more people to farm the land. No more crops to harvest. No more food on the table. Hunger.
Pero pag ang population natin in 30 years, nag-9 billion na, tingin mo ba makakabili pa tayo sa ibang bansa? Baka hindi na eh. Tingin mo ba bibigyan pa tayo ng China ng rice? Bibigyan pa ba tayo ng India ng rice? Sila muna unahin nila, hindi tayo unahin. Paano tayo ngayon? Kung di iniisip yan. Walang kakainin ng Pilipinas kung wala kang tatanim dito. For sure, magugutom man lahat, di ba?
The situation is dire, but not helpless. Actions must be done, and they must be done right now.
So, malapit ang puso ko dyan eh. Saka tingin ko, time to give back dun sa society natin. Nagawa ko na to eh, di ba? Lumaki na yung company natin.
Urgency is of utmost of importance, and the Kalata Foundation boldly takes the lead in solving this crisis.
Walang gustong pumasok sa ganung field eh. So, yung foundation is para nga ma-inspire ulit sila, ma-inspire yung mga tao.
The aim of the foundation is threefold: inspire, cultivate, sustain.
This university will give them the knowledge to manage, to do business, so they know how for the new technology, for the new future. And then they can inspire everybody else.
Pero yung mga kabataang dadala na sa ibang bansa, pababalikin mo dito. At sila mismo mag-i-implement kung paano gawin yung latest technology. At sila mismo yung magiging future farmers, entrepreneur farmers. Tingin ko magbabago ang agri natin, lalo na kung maraming magko-cooperate at tutulong at sasama sa atin.
As we say in Argentina, if you're a farmer, you're a rich man. Because you have the technology, the tools do the work for you, and you can improve your yields, you can do a lot better, more efficient.
The Philippines is in need of farmers, intelligent, skilled, modern, and dedicated farmers.
Ngayon, ang gusto kong baguhin na mindset is dapat yung mga farmer na bago, entrepreneur farmer, parang sa US. So yung foundation, yun yung goal eh. Maging entrepreneur farmer, yung parang i-cultivate yung mga young people para maging entrepreneur farmer.
To initiate change is to inspire people, to change their mindset and open their horizons.
That it's very important that Filipinos know how to use their tools. We don't want to come here and say, this is our way, we impose this. We want them to learn our ways, educate in the university, which is, they will give them the best tools, they're preparing us. We will go to school half a day, they will have an apprenticeship, on-the-job training for half a day, so we will match one student with one farmer.
To cultivate necessitates giving the new breed of farmers the proper education and equipping them with technology, arming them with tools to set them up for success.
Kailangan magsimula sa mga bata na matuto muna ng latest technology. And then, kailangan magkaroon ng mga center na nandun lahat ng tools ng mga farmer para umasenso sa pagpa-farming.
And they're not going to be labor. They're going to be with the boss. They're going to be agronomists, agriculture science. They're going to be the knowledge guys.
Tuturuan sila ng tamang pag-fertilize, soil analysis, yung mga supply chain.
To sustain the program, we come back full circle to the now modern Filipino farmer. It starts with him. It ends with him.
So imagine mo mula dulo to dulo. From bata, naging matalino na sanay na mag-agri, nandun lahat ng support. At the same time, may mga facility para mai-process yung mga produkto nila. So,
I can feel this Filipino spirit. That nothing stops them. They're very resilient. They always go forward. They're hardworking.
The problems facing Philippine agriculture are deep and wide. Any attempt to solve them seem futile at worst and temporary at best. But steps must be made. Actions must be done. The Kalata Foundation is at the forefront of initiating change.
Kasi mahirap ang change eh. Pag nagbago ka, nagre-resist lahat eh. Kasi mahirap naman talaga yun eh. Marami ka makakaaway. So, yun yung pinakamahirap. Yung change.
So I think if they see the vision there and they can feel they can bring that here, there's no need to go abroad to work, they don't need to be away from their families, they can have an amazing life here.
Kasi, kung merong anak na sabi sa tatay nila, tatay, wag natin benta to. Di ba? Wag mong benta yung palayan mo. Aayusin ko to. Magpapaturo ako sa center kung dapat itanim dito, nakikita tayo. Hayaan mo na yan. Huwag nating ibenta yan. Kung merong ganon, tingin mo bebenta pa nila yan. Hindi na nila ibebenta yun.
The foundation takes it upon itself to spread information about the crisis at hand. Awareness is the first step. However, the solutions are multifaceted and involves multiple sectors. The Kalata Foundation invites you to be part of this solution.